thank you for joining me. So in this fast track video I'm going to show you how to attach the gauze, position the elastic band, put some pins in, add some string for the neck and close that top area. So the items that you're going to need for this section is some gauze. This is just tubular bandage and it's cut to 25 centimeters in length. For Polly, we sell it in the single pieces like this, but we've also got the metre pieces. If you purchase the metre piece, that's enough for 4 dolls, or the single piece just for 1 doll. Got different size there, obviously for Dolly Dot and Baby Molly. So that's your tubular bandage gauze. You need an elastic band, your pearl head pins, doll needles, and some stuffing which is going to go into the chin. Now there's about 7 grams of stuff in there. Don't go above 8 grams. So roughly 6 to 7 grams of stuffing is what you need for stuffing the chin out. Here's our head bowl that we created in step 1 of the fast track series. So the next thing to do is to apply the gauze. So you just slide it through your hand, grab the top of the ball and just pull it down. So you need to make sure that you've got enough overlap for the bottom for when you sew that bottom section in, and then that will give you enough overlap also at the top for sewing that section in. Okay, so that looks good. Right, now the next thing to do is, if you turn the ball around, she will sort of talk to you and she will tell you where the front of her face is. I know it sounds odd, but the more you look at it, the more you can see where the front of her face is. You would generally get a flatter side and a more pronounced side. And so I tend to use the more pronounced side as the front of her face. So looking at it like this, I'm just going to turn it up to face me. Yeah, I would say that that area there, that's where her face is going to sit. So I'm making this section here the front of her face. So first thing I'm going to do is take a couple of my pins and I'm going to put them in at the halfway mark. Going to bring that down slightly. Now I can see those pins at the front. When I turn it over that way, they more or less disappear. Can you see that you can't see them when you turn it over at the back? But when you bring it to the front, you can see them, and that means that that section there on the head is slightly narrower here than what it is around the back. Okay, so next thing to do is I'm going to put in a couple of side pins going through the wadding and the gauze. So now that's given me the sort of angle of her face. So this is coming down into her chin area. Then we'll place the elastic band on. And again, it's centralised from the top to the bottom. This is all centralised at the moment. So that's centralised there. And then the next thing for us to do is, obviously she hasn't got any profile on her face at all. It's just completely rounded. So we need to bring this area out, which is going to be the chin area. And in one go, I'm going to put the whole lot up under the gauze to fit in to that area there. So push it on up. That's one thing. Taking it up and out to that corner there where those pins are. Taking it up to the elastic band. Just using my middle finger just to push it out, squeeze it out. Okay, so I want the majority of the stuffing to come down to a sort of not a point, but a gradual curve into this chin area here. So I put my fingers up and I just tweak it, pull it, push it into a more of a pronounced chin. Making sure it's still going out there to that side. Okay, so now we're getting some sort of profile to the side of her face. Okay, now I've got to give you that measurement before we put the elastic band on, but that would be 34 centimetres. So remember our head ball was 32, with the wadding was 36, and now with the gauze it's 34. Okay, so those are the three sizes. Okay, so the next thing to do is take your tie-in string, your linen thread, and we're just going to tie some string around her neck, crossing it over in the front and tying it at the back. She's travelling over the table, so I'm just tying that. It's not tight, it's just there, it's not loose, it's not over tight, it's just fitting your neck size. So let's tie that off in a knot. Just going to keep that in place, and then the next thing to do, so you can see it's sort of all ruched up and gathered here in the front. So we're just going to stretch that out. So I'm going to use my nails and I pull the gauze down as I push the string up under her chin. So pull the gauze, push the string up, pull the gauze and push the string up. And that's going to stretch that gauze down, and it's going to make the profile more pronounced, because you've now got a ridge there for the neck. And then once you've done that, just ease those gathers out that have formed there on the gauze. Just smooth it out. And then pop in a pin, stretch it, pop in a pin right in the front there. Then the same one at the back, and then pull down the sides, push that string up, pop another pin in there, and then this side, pull the gauze down, push the string up, pop in another pin. So you've got 4 pins in there holding that gauze down nice and flat. Okay, then you can just get rid of these tails. So just take your needle, just got a darning needle here. And I'm going to go back where that knot is and just sink it through into the neck. Same this other side. Just sink that tail down. Okay, so that's really pushed in that neck area there now, and it's nice and tight, and that gauze isn't going anywhere. Okay, so next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take my doll needle and I'm just going to smooth the stuffing out bringing it out to the edge of the face. You can sort of see through the gauze there, so I can see that my stuffing just needs to come over a little bit to where those pins are at the side. You can also run your finger through. If you feel any sort of like crevices or lumps or bumps or anything, you can just get your dull needle and just tweak the stuffing where it needs to be. And then we're just going to move the elastic band up just a little bit, and I'm just going to run my dull needle through here just to smooth the ridge of that stuffing out, just to give it a nice transition in to the forehead. It's only a little bit. So just tweaking that through. Pop my elastic band back down again. Okay, so that's just sort of gone over that little ridge of stuffing that I've done there. So next we're going to close the gauze at the top of the head. So I'm going to bring the back forward and the front backwards. So I'll just pop a pin in there. So just fasten on with 3 little stitches. And then all you're doing is a simple slip stitch just to pick up the gauze and close that top area. Okay, so I've closed that edge there. So I'll take my pin out and I'm just folding that into a little V and just bringing it over, popping in a pin, hold it in place, and now I will just sew down through that little V section. Okay, so I've sewn along the top, I've folded both corners in, sewed down, and our gauze has now been added. We've put the string in the bottom there just to stretch that neck out, give her more of a profile to her face shape. And we've sunk the tails on the backs of that string. Elastic band is still central on the face, so it's still in the middle. Pins are still in, top's been sewn down. Okay, so that completes attaching the gauze. So the next video to follow in this little fast track series is going to be the string sculpting, how to get that profile of her face nicely positioned.